Some people believe life is a result of fate. Some people believe it's a result of free will. They can both prove both perspectives because it is in fact both of them. I myself believe that it was a partially amount of free will, but mostly fate. So let us skip beliefs because that I respect everyone to believe whatever they want, and who am I to change it? Let's go into the facts. Fact. Some things in life you can control and some you cannot. So it is both. For example, a person who has things good will likely like to keep the status quo and not take responsibility for others. So for the most part, they'll focus on things you can control. I can control not to do drugs, not to join a gang, not to be lazy, to respect people. And by the way, we also have free will to be, coexist peacefully with all species in the world. Some people use weird arguments that are not really logical. For example, we have to kill animals for meat, and they cite their religion or so-called science for that. Well, yes, in religion, East and West, that's true. You might have to survive, and there's nothing else to eat. Animal has to be sacrificed. But those are exceptions to the rules, and that's the same thing for the history of mankind. Now, as for present mankind, whether you believe in evolution or not, it is more healthy and economical to be vegetarian with dairy products. This is confirmed by sources such as the American Dietetic Association, as well as the USDA, among many other sources. And human behavior is human anatomy is far more closely related to herbivores than carnivores or omnivores. And there are a number of religious quotes in the scientific religions of the East, like Hinduism, Buddhism, and in the Old and New Testaments that confirm this is the right way of life. People are probably wondering, well, how come I don't know about this or prove it? What is, I did the research and I put it all up on myspace.com/humanawakening under the animal blog, and you're welcome to check that out for yourself. But yeah, that's free will to coexist peacefully with other species. You don't have to, kill or be killed, especially for so-called sport or fashion like hunting or fur. That is totally unnecessary. That's just a choice. And that does have repercussions if you understand Newton's law of what goes around, and the religious law of what goes around comes around. We do make a lot of problems by earning what I call negative karma about that, so on and so forth. However, for everything you can control, there's something you can't. Even if we're all nice to other people, doesn't mean they're going to be nice to us. Now still, that's kind of free will, because the people who are not nice have free will. And that's the same thing for if you work hard, you might not get the job, you might not have the resources. That could be other people's fault. But you cannot control, no matter how nice you are to people, that you will not get sick. Everybody gets sick. No matter how hard you work for building your house or whatnot, there are plenty of natural disasters like tornadoes. A tornado can come without warning. A force 5 tornado, you can't do anything, little to nothing. It can hit you and your loved ones and leave some crazy person totally untouched. Even if you love someone through thick and thin, you're still gonna have to get aged. And for everyone who takes birth, can't control the labor pain, which is the worst pain in the world. You can't control death. Everyone has to die. So fate is definitely there. Free will is too. So it's pretty much a combination. This is a fact. This is not a belief. Now, some people want to get into the religious argument. They don't even understand the faith as much as it should be. Okay, Eastern religion confirms this. Action-reaction, like Newton's law. If you do something bad, it will come back to you, which is what karma is about. It's not really some kind of a weird force. Biological scientists confirm. That means, no matter how much pleasure you get, for example, alcohol or ecstasy or anything else, food, there's a limited amount you can get, and then the mind will block off lose the receptors, and then you'll crash, and then you'll need more just to go back to where you were. So trying to enjoy with the mind is futile. You're not fated to or destined to enjoy materially. This does not mean you don't do anything. That means you have to have a little balance. That's what my belief is, which is fact-based. So in a sense, you have free will to only try to live a balanced life. Other than that, you think you can, but you don't realize how things work. That's what really karma is about. For every plus there's a minus. So no matter how much you think I can mess with other people and enjoy, it'll come back to you one way or another. Suffer, pain, and pleasure are temporary, therefore they're not real. They're a cycle. Now, let me get back into the beliefs factor, since we've already went through scientific explanations. Most people don't believe that it's both fate and free will. They just don't understand religion. For example, obviously if you go to Hinduism and Buddhism, there's karma and reincarnation. Although some people are born into horrible situations with bad karma, some people are born into good, some people are in the middle. They have a chance to escape the cycle of karma. That's why it's both. For example, most people don't know that Christianity says the same thing. For example, in Matthew, Jesus talks about how what caused this blind person to be blind. It wasn't really him or his parents. So it must have been something that happened in a previous life in the Bible. And then in Matthew, there's more about how they asked Jesus if he was Elias in another life. And for example, in Exodus, Deuteronomy, and other, they talk about how an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. And the main commandment is love ye one another. And then there's more in Luke about repent or you'll also perish because they suffered such things. I put a lot of stuff up on myspace.com/human awakening about this topic. It's take a lot to get into, but yeah, it doesn't make sense for you to believe that. I know this might be a little bit off topic, but I never really remembered to include this in my original religion video. So I just wanted to hit a few points while we're on the topic of karma. Alright, tell me this. How can anyone believe in the right mind that you can do almost anything you want, but you're fated to go to eternal heaven, the same heaven as someone who was a great person? Like, for example, I'm just throwing examples, Mother Teresa or something like that. And a person who's like Hitler or something like that gets the same heaven, eternal, because they repented? Or even worse than that, you could be the greatest person in the world, but you might get eternal hell because you didn't ever, even though you never heard about the Bible or something, and you thought, my mom told me to follow this one and it made sense, and it talks about God, the same principles, and oops, I made a mistake. That makes no sense whatsoever. What kind of destiny is that? That's like screwy. And yeah, karma is somewhat in the Bible, and definitely in the Eastern religion, which is proven, and that is the most logical. But you should look at myspace.com/human awakening again in my first religious video to understand the details of that, of religion. And that's about it, I guess, for the karma and reincarnation. The main thing is, some people believe life is a result of fate, some people believe it's a result of free will, and they can both prove both perspectives because it is in fact both of them. And that's why people, depending on the situation, will believe one or the other. You can't limit your beliefs to your own experiences. Or even, you can try for the religious, but do consider the science to confirm your belief. Thank you, that's about it. I think the notion of free will is mostly pertaining to I can choose to accept that there's a higher power, and I should choose to do my best and not be attached to what the result is, or I can choose to deny it because I have free will to believe or not, and I can choose to just be bad. And that belief might be okay, rooted in purely faith or some logic, like okay, there's some factual evidence that there's a higher power and it's better to do good because what goes around comes around. But free will, I think that's the main thing. If you can choose to try to do the right thing, as opposed to say I can control everything and that's all that matters. If things are going good, I'm happy, otherwise I'm just going to be really upset. Because you can't control everything in life. You can only control effort and putting your effort in the right area, because effort is one factor in life.